What is going on, Bulls Nation? So breaking news: we re-signed Patrick Williams for 5 years, $90 million. Is this a massive overpay for a guy like Patrick Williams? We're gonna talk about it right after this.
This is your home for all things Chicago Bulls. Join the conversation. You're listening to Chicago Bulls Nation.
All right, Bulls Nation. So Patrick Williams, breaking news from last night. He signed or intends to sign. I think it's a done deal. 5 years, $90 million for a guy that's, still a relatively young guy, 23 years old, coming off an injury. Is this an overpay by the Bulls? Okay, let's talk about Patrick Williams. Yes, he is inconsistent, but then again, he has inconsistent minutes. We can make an argument that you insert him in the lineup and give him X amount of minutes and he'll get benched in the fourth. It's because he doesn't earn his play on the court, and I'm not gonna argue with that. Yes, he sometimes does not deserve to be on the floor, but at the same time, he's still young. So what you're paying here is the potential upside, and a lot of people do that. You pay for what could be, not what is. Patrick Williams could be a very good 3-and-D player. He might not be a superstar. He might not be a cornerstone of a franchise. Again, we still don't know that because he still could be, right? Given the right role and opportunity. He came into the league, he was asked to do a certain role, and that is to be a 3-and-D guy, and he did it. Now, rebounding wise, he's really not a good rebounder for his size and his position as a power forward. But with the imminent departure of DeMar DeRozan and maybe Zach LaVine, if we can find a trade partner, maybe his role would change and maybe he'll have more touches, more opportunities to create on his own. Remember, we've seen flashes of him do this, but we've seen more inconsistencies from him doing the same role. Again, we are paying for a potential here, and I'm not even mad at the number. $90 million for 5 years. He's 23 years old. After this deal is done, he'll be 28, maybe entering his prime, or maybe already left his prime. I don't know. But the number itself is not outrageous, meaning this is not the same paying for potential a la Zach LaVine. Because with Zach LaVine, it handicapped the Bulls by signing him. That is such a huge number that it became where we're at now, which is untradeable. Zach LaVine is a good player. I don't even think he's that injury prone. I think the injury that happened last year is two ways. Most of them are he doesn't want to play for the Bulls anymore. And then the second part is that when he heard he's going to Detroit, he all of a sudden had an injury. With Patrick Williams, he could be the same guy as he is for the past 3-4 years that he was with the Bulls, and that number would still be tradable. In 5 years or 4 years, the mid-level now is 12.8. That is only $6 million above the mid-level. He's making less than what Lonzo made last year, and Lonzo didn't play a single basketball last year. So in hindsight, it sounds big for normal people like me, but in reality, is in terms of cap space, it's not going to handicap the Bulls as much as Zach LaVine is handicapping the Bulls right now, if that makes any sense. This is a very tradable contract. As a matter of fact, if he just becomes a decent 3-and-D guy, we could potentially, let's say he doesn't meet his potential and we're trying to unload Zach. He is a good player to attach to Zach LaVine to, I would say, unload and incentivize any team that's absorbing Zach LaVine. I'm not in favor of that, to be quite honest with you, because right now, the only reason you want to do that is if you're trying to win and you're trying to get quality players. But right now, there's only 3 years left in Zach LaVine's contract. Don't do that, please. At worst, let him play. Let him lose a bunch of games for us. And, I don't want to attach a pick, a young guy, nothing like that. Let him play it out. Just take your mistakes right on the chin. But going back to Patrick Williams, he still has a lot of upside. If He's a good 3-and-D guy, and he showed it time and time again, right? Not consistent, but we've seen flashes of it. If his ceiling is somewhat like, I don't know, it's kind of wild to say this because he's not even a star, yet I'm comparing Patrick Williams to him, and it's still an insult to him, like OG Anunoby, right? He's a max player now, making more than Zach LaVine. Is Patrick Williams' ceiling like OG Anunoby? If that is the case, I'd take it. And by no means am I saying OG Anunoby is a cornerstone of any team. It's how valuable 3-and-D players are nowadays. So if he becomes one that is somewhat decent, he's still young. He has the frame for it. He's the body. He is very long, athletic. If he can put this all together, combine it, maybe he becomes more aggressive. And that's a lot of ifs in here. So, you still don't know. But at the same time, like I said, the actual number of the contract is not outrageous and not untradeable to a degree that if we need to unload him, let's say the Bulls becomes relevant again and actually the youth movement is working and we just need one star, you can attach Patrick Williams to get into that package, because it is not going to handicap you the way, let's say, Chris Paul or Zach LaVine might handicap another team. If that's making any sense. But let me know in the comments down below, is this a massive overpay for a guy that is inconsistent? I gotta give props to AK as well, because the last 3 re-signings are fairly favorable deal for the Bulls. And what I mean is Io signed a measly $6 million, Kobe at 14, and now Patrick Williams at 18. That is not a bad negotiation. If only they can do that on a trade, that would be great. But with Vooch, that's a different story. I think we overpaid Vooch, considering what the market is and his age. But I hope we can trade him still. But let me know in the comments, how do you feel about this signing? Are you happy about it? Do you think it's a massive overpay? Let me know in the comments. Thank you for watching. And if you are a Bulls fan, please consider subscribing. I talk about Bulls here. That's the only thing I talk about, really. Just Chicago Bulls, because I love the Bulls. But yeah, thank you for watching. Subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you guys in the next video.